They weren't sleek, they weren't subtle, but they were big. In the 1950s and 60s, movie screens were flooded with irradiated ants, colossal reptiles, and angry mollusks, all ready to trample cities and terrify drive-in audiences. Today we're diving into 10 of the best giant creature B-movies from the era of atomic panic and practical effects. Before Godzilla hit US theaters, Them was already crawling its way into America's collective nightmares, one giant antenna at a time. Nuclear testing mutates ants in the desert into skyscraper-sized killing machines. That's right, the future wasn't destroyed by robots or aliens, it was wrecked by ants. But these aren't your average picnic invaders. They're organized, they're angry, and they make us sound like a Geiger counter having a nervous breakdown. Them plays it surprisingly straight, but that only makes the giant ant puppets even more unsettling. They're big, they're hairy, and they don't skip leg day because they have 6 of them. The movie builds slow, like a detective mystery with radiation and mandibles. But once the ants attack, it's flamethrowers, panic, and total insect warfare. It's one of the first and finest creature features of the atomic age, and it proves that sometimes all it takes to destroy civilization is a really bad ant problem. If you've ever thought, hey, what if we accidentally defrosted a dinosaur and made it really mad? Then congratulations, you just wrote The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. This prehistoric menace, the Radiosaurus, gets rudely awakened by a nuclear bomb and immediately decides to go sightseeing. And by sightseeing, I mean city smashing. It may sound familiar, and that's because this movie pretty much invented the modern giant monster formula and inspired Godzilla a year later. Which means technically, this dino is the OG kaiju granddaddy. Respect. Ray Harryhausen brings the Radiosaurus to life with glorious stop motion, and the monster actually has personality. It limps, it snarls, it seems perpetually annoyed, like it just woke up from a 100 million year nap and immediately hit traffic. Bonus points. Its blood is radioactive, so every time it bleeds, it kills people. That's not just dangerous, that's petty. The beast from 20,000 Fathoms walks so Godzilla could stomp. And honestly, he stomps pretty hard for a lizard that just wanted to be left alone. You know you're in for something special when the characters in the movie are dead serious and the monster looks like it flew in from a rejected episode of Sesame Street After Dark. A bird from an antimatter galaxy that's faster than jets, immune to bullets, and has the face of pure nightmare fuel. If your nightmares involve discount Halloween decorations. The first half plays like a solid sci-fi thriller. Planes vanish, radar goes nuts, scientists panic. Then the monster shows up, and everyone watching has the same reaction. Wait, what is that? This thing has googly eyes, a massive beak, a floppy mohawk, and wings that flap like they're late to a piñata party. It's been called one of the worst monster designs of all time. But here's the twist. That's exactly what makes it legendary. The giant claw is so sincere, so committed, and so unintentionally hilarious, it loops back around and becomes brilliant. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll never look at poultry the same way again. You'll either be terrified or laughing your head off, and possibly both. If you're already afraid of spiders, good news. This movie will make that so much worse. Tarantula answers the question no one was asking in 1955. What if a tarantula the size of a shopping mall decided to go for a walk? The plot kicks off with a well-meaning scientist trying to solve world hunger by making animals bigger. Because yes, the obvious solution to food shortages is to create giant radioactive monsters. Before long, one of his lab experiments, a fast-growing tarantula, escapes, goes rogue, and starts turning the Arizona desert into a buffet. And how do you show a giant spider in the 50s? You film a real one, then superimpose it over footage of roads, buildings, and terrified extras. There's also a surprise cameo by a young Clint Eastwood in a fighter jet, dropping bombs on the massive arachnid, which might be the most 50s thing ever committed to film. Tarantula is creepy, weirdly serious, and a hairy-legged highlight of the atomic monster era. What has 6 limbs, hates boats, and single-handedly ruined a San Francisco vacation? That'd be the radioactive octopus from It Came From Beneath the Sea. This oceanic overachiever is brought to life by stop-motion wizard Ray Harryhausen, who, fun fact, gave it 6 arms instead of 8 because the budget said, "That's enough, thanks." The movie kicks off with a nuclear submarine getting slimed, and before you know it, the military's fighting a cephalopod with a serious grudge against coastal infrastructure. It's part creature feature, part Cold War cautionary tale, and part travel ad gone terribly wrong. And the Golden Gate Bridge, let's just say it doesn't make it out in one piece. San Francisco's finest are no match for a monster that hugs like it means it. Despite the budget cuts and a plot that involves scientists explaining everything very slowly, It Came From Beneath the Sea remains a high point of rubbery, tentacled terror. Just remember, if you ever see bubbles rising near your boat, run. Beginning of the End dares to ask, what if radioactive agriculture gave us giant man-eating grasshoppers, and we had absolutely no money to show it? In this 1957 classic, scientists trying to grow mega-sized veggies accidentally create mega-sized bugs, because apparently science in the 50s was just vibes. And how do you show giant grasshoppers attacking Chicago on a shoestring budget? Let them crawl over photographs of buildings. Yes, actual still photos. It's less special effects and more PowerPoint with insects. But here's the thing, the movie commits. Peter Graves delivers every line like he's in Citizen Kane, not in a film where grasshoppers climb to these skyscrapers. The bugs chirp, people scream, and the military throws everything at them. Tanks, machine guns, maybe even stern looks. Sure, it's goofy. Sure, the grasshoppers clearly don't know that they're in a movie. But Beginning of the End is B-movie gold. Absurd, ambitious, and packed with enough unintentional comedy to feed your soul. And your crops? Well, not so much. You've heard of Godzilla, but are you ready for Gamera, the fire-breathing, child-saving, jet-propelled giant turtle you didn't know you needed? In Gamera the Giant Monster, an Arctic nuke test wakes up a prehistoric creature who's part tortoise, part kaiju, and 100% chaos. At first, he's all destruction, smashing ships, knocking over buildings, and giving Tokyo another really bad day. But then he saves a child, and suddenly he's a hero. And the best part? When Gamera pulls into his shell and spins through the sky like a flaming frisbee of doom.
It's almost like a flying saucer.
It's majestic, it's ridiculous, it's glorious. Originally made to cash in on Godzilla's success, Gamera went on to become a legend in his own right, especially with kids, who apparently looked at this skyscraper-sized menace and said, "That's my guy." The effects are wonderfully rubbery, the music is dramatic, and the logic is negotiable. But who cares? It's a giant turtle that can fly. Gamera is weird, wild, and wonderful, just the way a good B-movie should be. The title promises a lot. And while this monster may not have actually challenged the entire world, it definitely made a mess of a small corner of California. In the monster that challenged the world, an underwater earthquake cracks open a pocket of prehistoric nightmares and releases a giant mollusk. Yes, a slimy, slow-moving, googly-eyed monster that looks like it just oozed out of your worst seafood buffet dream. But don't be fooled, these things are lethal. They drain people dry, they burst into labs, and they move just fast enough to catch a surprisingly high number of unlucky victims. And while other movies give you one big monster, this one says, why not a whole nest of them? Because nothing says cinematic climax like a man fighting a dripping wet sausage beast in a flooded bunker. The effects are better than you'd expect, the tension is real, and the movie takes itself completely seriously, which only makes the mollusk madness more delightful. It may not have conquered the globe, but the monster that challenged the world definitely conquered the drive-in circuit, and maybe a few nightmares along the way. You know how most giant monster movies feature scientists and soldiers? Well, the Valley of Gwangi said, nah, give us cowboys, and throw in a dinosaur. Yes, this is a movie where a group of rodeo wranglers discover a hidden valley full of prehistoric creatures and decide, naturally, to capture a dinosaur and bring it back for the rodeo. What could possibly go wrong? The dinosaur in question is Gwangi, a snarling Allosaurus with a bad attitude and zero patience for ropes, cages, or being part of your traveling stunt show. Ray Harryhausen delivers stop-motion magic once again, and watching cowboys try to lasso a dinosaur is exactly as incredible as it sounds. It's like Jurassic Park meets Bonanza, all chaos. There's also a tiny horse, a pterodactyl fight, and a cathedral showdown that proves Gwangi really knows how to make an exit. It's one of the wildest genre mashups ever filmed, and the result is pure B-movie brilliance. Some monster movies are about man versus beast. This one is about Beast versus his slightly nicer brother. War of the Gargantuas gives us two towering humanoid monsters, Gyra, the green man-eating party smasher, and Sonda, the gentle brown Bigfoot who just wants everyone to calm down. They used to be pals. Now, they're locked in a sibling rivalry so destructive it could level Tokyo. And when they fight, it's less graceful kaiju battle and more drunken bar brawl, but skyscraper-sized. They throw trees, they smash mountains, and they scream like someone stepped on a Lego the size of a bus. The movie takes its drama seriously, like Shakespearean-level tragic monster drama. Scientists are pleading with them to stop, the military is blasting away, and meanwhile, Gyra is out here flinging people like frisbees. Add in a dramatic orchestral score, some miniature carnage, and the kind of wild energy only Toho could deliver, and you've got one of the most bizarrely emotional kaiju smackdowns ever filmed. War of the Gargantuas proves that sometimes family feuds really escalate. Giant ants, radioactive octopi, flying turtles, grasshoppers climbing postcards. The 50s and 60s were a golden age of creature chaos, when all you needed was a rubber suit, some stock footage, and a serious voiceover to convince the world the end was near. These B-movies weren't just about monsters. They were about imagination run wild, low-budget ambition, and the joy of watching a puppet bird destroy a plane with its face. Whether you're here for the unintentional laughs, the groundbreaking effects, or just to watch a mollusk attack a military base, there's no denying it. Giant creature movies used to hit different. Which monster was your favorite? Or better yet, which one terrified you as a kid? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spin your flaming turtle shell into the notification bell, because we've got plenty more creature features coming your way.